Welcome to all of you. In previous two sessions, we have seen the sampling and reconstruction of the continuous time signal. Okay, so in that session, we have seen the sampling theorem and the aliasing effect, okay, and how to use the anti-aliasing filter to reconstruct the original signal. Okay, now here in this session, we are going to see the discrete time processing of the continuous time signal. Okay, discrete time processing of continuous time signal. Okay, so there are so many applications in the signal processing domain where continuous time signals are firstly converted into the DT signals, okay, and then again converted back into the continuous time signals. Okay, the task of discrete time processing can be done using the computing devices. Okay, now here we will consider the discrete time processing of the continuous time signal. Okay, so here the firstly what we are going to do, we are going to convert the signal x of t, which is a continuous signal, okay, into a discrete time signal. Okay, so we have to apply this to a block where the conversion of continuous time signal is done, okay, where it is converted into a discrete time signal, okay, d of t or dt signal. Okay, so what is the output of this? It is nothing but the x of n, which is a discrete signal. Okay, now this signal is applied to a discrete time system. Okay, so the output of this discrete time system is nothing but the y of n. Okay, so again this is applied to the block where the y of n, which is again a dt signal, is converted back into a continuous time signal. Okay, so conversion to the continuous time signal. Okay, which is nothing but the CT signal. Okay, so here we will obtain the y of t. Okay, so if you focus on this figure, okay, we can say that the overall system is a continuous time system since input and output of this system is in the continuous form. Okay, so one more point we can focus here, that the converting x of t into a discrete time signal using proper sampling frequency and reconstructing the original signal using proper reconstruction filter, okay, lies in the sampling theorem. Okay, the continuous time signal x of t can be exactly represented by the sequence of instantaneous value x of n. Hence, the relation in between x of n and x of t can be given as x of n is equivalent to x of t at t is equivalent to n into ts. Okay, which we can say this as x of n into ts. Okay, so here x of n is also nothing but x of n into ts. Okay, so this is the relation between our x of n and x of t. Okay, the conversion of continuous signal to the discrete time signal is called as the continuous to discrete time conversion, whereas converting the discrete time signal into the continuous time signal is called as the discrete to continuous time conversion. Okay, so which can be represented in this way. Okay, the y of n is equivalent to y of t at different intervals. T is equivalent to n into ts, so that the y of n is also given as y of n into ts. Okay, so in the similar manner where we have represented x of n. Okay, so we have represented x of n and y of n here in terms of n into ts. Okay, here n represents the sample number. Okay, so what is n? N is nothing but the sample number here. Okay, and what is ts then? Ts is nothing but the sampling time. Okay, TS is nothing but the sampling time here. So analog to digital converter is responsible for CT to DT conversion, whereas digital to analog converter, that is DAC, is responsible for DT to CT conversion. Okay, so here this figure can also be modified in this way. Okay, so the X of T is provided to the block which converts the CT signal into DT signal. Okay, so CT to DT converter. Okay, so which will give us X of n, which can also be represented as X of n into TS. Okay, so this signal is then given to the DT system, that is discrete time system. Okay, so the output of this DT time system is Y of n, which is given as Y of n into TS. Okay, now this signal is provided here to the DT to CT conversion. Okay, which will provide us the signal Y of T. Okay, so this is the modified block diagram of discrete to or discrete time processing of continuous time signal. Okay, the first block represents the conversion of CT signal into the DT signal. Okay, so this can be achieved using the impulse train sampling. Okay, so here X of T is multiplied with corresponding impulse train separated by the sampling period TS. Okay, so this block is represented here. What we are going to do here, we are going to multiply the X of T by the impulse train of pulses. Okay, so M of T. So what is this? This is the impulse train. Okay, and this is nothing but the continuous signal. Okay, this is our original continuous signal. Okay, when these two signals gets multiplied, we will obtain X delta of T, okay, which is the sampled signal. Okay, now this sampled signal is provided to the conversion of, or we are going to convert here the X of delta T into now X of n. Okay, so here it is provided to the block where the conversion of X delta of T is done, okay, to obtain X of n. Okay, so what is the output here? It is nothing but X of n, which is X of T at the instants T is equivalent to n into Ts. Okay, so this is nothing but the CT to DT conversion. Okay, so what is the sampled signal here? The X of delta T. Okay, it is represented here as, okay, so this is represented here. This is the continuous signal. Okay, when it is sampled, okay, we are getting the sampled signals in this way. Okay, so this is the X of delta T, okay, which is applied to the conversion of X of delta T to the X of n block. Okay, so here we are getting X delta of T. Okay, so discrete time signal is X of n, which is nothing but, okay, so here we will obtain the discrete time signal. It will be like this. Okay, so as per our continuous time signal, it will obtained in this way. Okay, so this is our X of n. The equation of X of delta T can be written as okay, so X of delta T is equivalent to summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity X of n into Ts multiplied by delta T minus n into Ts. Okay, so the Fourier transform of this delta T minus n into Ts is e raised to minus j omega n into Ts. Okay, so here we can write X of del j omega, that is Fourier transform of this equation, is equal to summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, the X of n into Ts multiplied by e raised to minus j omega n into Ts. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform of del T minus n Ts. Okay, So hence we can write, we can find out the DTFT of the signal x of j omega. Okay, so here we can say x of e raised to j omega is equivalent to according to the definition of DTFT, it is minus infinity to plus infinity x of n into e raised to minus j omega n. Okay, so here we can say this as n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of n into ts, okay, into e raised to minus j omega n. Okay, so here by considering these two equations, what we can say, okay, we can say x of n is equivalent to x of n into ts. Okay, so x of e raised to j omega, according to this equation we have this value, and as per the definition of DTFT we have this equation. Okay, so comparing these two, we have x of n is equal to x of n into ts. Okay, so we get here x of e raised to j omega is equal to x of del, okay, j omega divided by t. Okay, so comparing these two equations. Okay, now we have written x of del omega is x of del x del of j omega is equivalent to 1 upon ts summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega minus n omega s. Okay, so here we can say, or we have already proved this as x of del e raised to j omega is equal to 1 upon ts summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega minus 2 pi n, okay, divided by t. Okay, so considering the figure here, we know that the frequency spectrum of the x of j omega is given as, okay, the spectrum of x of j omega is given here, that is Fourier transform of x of t. Here it is 1 minus omega, it lies in between minus omega to plus omega. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform. Okay, Fourier transform of x of t. Okay, now the Fourier transform of x of del t is given here as, okay, x of del t is given here, it is minus omega to plus omega. Here it will be from omega s, here it is centered at minus omega s, and so on. Okay, so this is the Fourier transform of x of del t. Okay, so discrete time Fourier transform of x of del t is given here as, okay, here it is 1 upon ts x of del e raised to j omega. Okay, here it is 0, here we have 2 pi, and here it will be minus 2 pi. Okay, so this is the discrete time Fourier transform DTFT of the signal x of del t. Okay, so this is the relationship in between your x of j omega, x of del j omega, and x of del e raised to j omega. Okay, so the DTFT is periodic with period 2 pi as shown in the figure. Okay, so periodicity is the characteristic of any DTFT. Okay, so we have seen the properties of the DTFT earlier. Okay, so after converting CT signal into the DT signal x of n, the signal is given to the DT system where it is processed. So after processing the discrete time signal x of n, we will have the discrete time signal y of n at the output of the DT system. Okay, so here the conversion of the DT sequence to the impulse train. So what is the input here? It is y of n. Okay, so conversion of the DT signal or sequence to the impulse train. Okay, which will provide us y del of t. Okay, so again it is passed through the reconstruction filter. Okay, so here we are getting the output accordingly. So we have to use the reconstruction filter, okay, which lies in between omega s divided by 2 to plus omega s divided by 2, okay, with the time period ts. Okay, so this is nothing but the conversion of DT signal into the continuous signal. Okay, the second block is the reconstruction filter here, which is generally the low pass filter. Okay, which is responsible for getting back the original signal. If we say x of n is equivalent to y of n, then identity signal or identity system is followed, and the final block diagram of discrete time processing system or discrete time processing of DT signal can be represented in the following way. Okay, so firstly what we have x of t, which is multiplied with the m of t, that is train of impulses, which will provide us x delta of t, which is provided to the block conversion of CT signal into the DT signal. So conversion of impulse train to sequences, okay, which is applied now to the reconstruction filter, okay, which is HD of e raised to j omega. Okay, this is x of n, which will provide us, or this is a DT processing system which will provide us y of n. So here conversion of DT sequence to impulse train is done, okay, which will provide us y del of t, okay, again which is passed through the low pass filter. Okay, so this low pass filter is nothing but the reconstruction filter, and finally we will obtain y of t here. Okay, so the overall system is provided here. Okay, so this is the overall system for processing the CT signal using the DT signal. Okay, so the system here represents the continuous time LTI system. Okay, so HD of e raised to j omega represents the discrete time response of the system, whereas the HC of j omega represents the frequency response of the continuous time system. Okay, so here the DT frequency response is represented here in this way. Okay, so it is HD of e raised to j omega. Okay. Okay, so this is the DT frequency response. Okay, which exists from minus omega c to plus omega c. Okay, and the CT frequency response is represented as HC of e raised to j omega. Okay, so here it is 0 to omega minus omega c divided by Ts. Here it is plus omega c divided by Ts. Okay, so this is the frequency response of continuous time signal. Okay, so we can write HC of HC of j omega is equal to HD of e raised to j omega, which lies in between omega c less than omega s divided by 2, and it is equal to 0 for modulus of omega greater than omega s divided by 2. Okay, so thus DT processing of CT signal is achieved through the process explained in previous or in this session. Okay, the sampling in frequency domain or spectral sampling. Okay, so how to sample the signal in the frequency domain, now we are going to see here. Okay, so we have seen the sampling theorem in the time domain, whereas we have considered the signal is band limited to omega hertz. Okay, this band limited signal can be reconstructed if you sample this signal at Nyquist rate of sampling. That is, Fs should be always greater than or equivalent to 2 omega. It states that we can recover the band limited signal if the sampling frequency is greater than or equivalent to 2 times as that of omega. Okay, so here omega is called as the spectral width of the signal. So what is omega? It is the spectral width of signal. Okay, so as in other cases there is dual of sampling theorem, and it is called as the spectral sampling or sampling in frequency domain. Okay, this technique is applied to time limited signal, which is the dual of band limited signal. Okay, so this dual is known as the spectral sampling or sampling in frequency domain. Okay, so a time limited signal is going to exist for certain fixed duration of time, which is nothing but the tau. Okay, then spectral sampling or frequency domain sampling theorem states that the spectrum x of e raised to j omega of time limited signal can be reconstructed from the samples of x of j omega taken at the rate of q greater than tau in seconds. Okay, so now consider that the x of t is a time limited signal as shown in the figure. Okay, so here is provided the signal x of t. Okay, so this is the time interval tau for the provided x of t. Okay, 0 to tau. So the Fourier transform of this signal is given as x of e raised to j omega or x of j omega. Okay, so this is the spectrum of the time limited signal, CT signal. Okay, so the periodic repetition of the signal is responsible for the sampling its spectrum. Okay, so here we will consider the periodic representation or repetition of the signal. Okay, so these are repeated here. Okay, so this signal gets repeated, so which will result in the sampling of the frequency spectrum. Okay, so this is a frequency spectrum of the provided signal and it gets sampled at different intervals. Okay, so this is 1 upon T0 x of e raised or j omega. Okay, we can represent this as Cn. Okay, so this sampling interval is given as 1 upon T0, which is F0. Okay, so periodic representation here provided. So this time period is nothing but T0, where T0 should be always greater than tau. Okay, so this is our signal, continuous time signal x of t, and the Fourier transform of this is provided here. Okay, so now in this way we can say that the signal is responsible for the sampling its spectrum. Okay, so x of j omega is provided as integral from minus infinity to plus infinity x of t into e raised to minus j omega t dt. Okay, which we can say this as integral from 0 to, it is integral from 0 to tau, okay, x of t into e raised to minus j omega t dt. Okay, so this shows that the periodic signal xt0t, which is obtained by repeating x of t after every time interval t0 or t0 seconds, where t0 should be greater than the tau. Okay, then the periodic signal can be expressed using the exponential form of Fourier series. Okay, so this is represented here. Okay, x t0 of t is given as summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity Cn into e raised to j n omega 0 t. Okay, so where omega 0 is given as 2 pi divided by t0. Okay, then Cn can be represented as it is 1 upon t0 integral from 0 to t0 x of t into e raised to minus j omega 0 n into t, okay, dt. Okay, so this can also be represented as 1 upon t0 integral from 0 to tau x of t into e raised to minus j n omega 0 t dt. Okay, so here we can get expanding the equation or so evaluating this equation, we have Cn is equivalent to 1 upon T0 xj of n into omega 0. Okay, so this result indicates that the coefficient of the Fourier series Cn are 1 upon T0 times the sample value of the spectrum x of e raised to j omega. Okay, taken at the interval omega 0. Okay, so this means that the spectrum of x of T0t is the sampled version of the spectrum x of t. Okay, so at T0 greater than tau, okay, from the successive cycle x of t into x of T0t are not going to overlap x of t can be recovered from x of T0t, which says that x of j omega can be recovered from its samples. Okay, so these samples are separated by f0 is equal to 1 upon T0 hertz. Okay, so that means that the reconstruct of e raised to j omega or x of j omega, okay, from its samples, to reconstruct the x of j omega from its samples, the condition provided should be q is equal to 1 upon f0, okay, it should be greater than 2, okay, samples per hertz. Okay, so this concept is known as the spectral sampling or the sampling in frequency domain. So what is the sampling in frequency domain? Okay, so here at T0 greater than tau, the successive cycles of x of t, okay, into x of T0t are not going to overlap, and x of t can be recovered from the x of T0t, okay, into its original samples. Okay, so these samples are separated by the frequency or time period given here. Okay, so this is all about the sampling in frequency domain. Okay, thank you.